Yeah.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This being the organizational meeting, we'll open up the floor for nominations for President of the Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Auditor, I'd like to nominate Mike Moore as president.
Do I hear a second?
Mr. Auditor, I'd like to get some clarification on something real quick from anybody in the room. I know we've been operating with presidents and vice presidents and secretaries, but I don't recall seeing anything that officially defines what the positions are, what they do. So if somebody could share, maybe Commissioner Moore, since you've been nominated, you can share what those duties are. I think for the record, that'd be good to hear.
Primarily, I think it's to preside over the meetings.
That's my understanding. Just a person call a meeting to order and preside over the meeting, and past that, our duties are for president, as we mentioned, are not the same as the council. So,
Which are vastly different.
Okay.
So basically, coordinator of the meetings, and that's it.
Well, not exact. From time to time, there's documents that require president's signature, you know. But
So the
Is there a
president
job-
should be here pretty much most of the operating hours to ensure that those documents are signed.
Well,
I just know that, you know, if there's expectations, I think it's good to have those on the record
yeah.
versus, because I've researched documents and codes, and I haven't found anything that defines what that role is.
I don't think there's the commissioner statute contemplates an organizational meeting where a president is elected. That's specifically in the code. But beyond that, I don't think there's any statutory definition. There are some ordinances that would definitely reflect the president of the council having an appointment or something like that. But that's, you know, goes along with the office. I mean, with the office of commissioner as president, there are certain appointments that when the ordinance was adopted, you know, said the president of the commissioners or his designee. Sometimes it might just say a commissioner's designee, which means it needs approval from the board. But beyond those kind of local, you know, issues, for lack of a better term, there wouldn't be a special duties or special hours. I mean, it is for the board to act, there has to be a majority. That's the nature of the Board of Commissioners in every county across the state. But the president presides over the meetings, and you know, when the president's not there, the vice president does. It's just what the legislature set up to provide organization. So.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification. Again, there's a huge difference between the council president and the commissioner president. Commissioners enjoy the same level of power, whereas the commissioner or the council president does many things.
And that's only based on the council's rules.
Right.
The rules of
within
the council.
Vigo County, not
Within Vigo
state
County,
statute.
exactly.
Right. So we can modify it if we want to give the commissioner president more responsibilities and duties. We can certainly do that.
That's absolutely accurate.
But right now in Vigo County, as it stands, it's more of a ceremonial position, whether you conduct the meeting. Does there have to be an abstention of voting at any time, Michael, in your opinion? Or
abstention of voting is a issue personal to every elected official. That's, comes into play when there's some,
Or not setting a motion, not introducing a motion. Does
I
that
mean-
rule apply here?
so you're asking if the president can make a
Motion, yeah.
Yes, I think the president can make a motion.
Okay, and in the council, Mike, or Mike Morris, was that the practice before? I don't think you could you?
Our rules didn't prohibit that, but it was
Just a practice?
unwritten practice.
Sure.
And that's probably the same true here.
Yeah, because I recall that Brad didn't, and I don't recall Judy doing it while I was here either, so.
But in absence, yeah, there's no.
But it's not necessary, there's nothing that precludes that from occurring.
Every commissioner could make a
Prevents it.
motion on,
Good,
regardless of their title.
okay. I'll second the motion that Commissioner Schweitzer made. Then do you call for the vote then?
Okay.
Yes.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Mr. Morris, you're the president.
Thank you. Let me express that to fulfill my duties and responsibilities as Commissioner of Vigo County, this is not a determination taken lightly. In my life, I have operated a business that's 24/7. Commissioners, as far as I'm concerned, are on call in any county in the state of Indiana, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, period. That responsibility certainly does not fall on one, so maybe that's a nice position to be able to count on two other people. So, but again, I take this responsibility initially before I even ran for election as a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week job, and committed to serving the people of Vigo County, period. So, let's see. Now, at this time, Counselor,
Yes, we would need a nomination for vice president and secretary.
okay. All right. We need both?
Yes, every commissioner has a designation in their statute. Again, they're more titles, but the statute requires a vice president and secretary.
Vice President to run meetings in absence of the President.
Correct. And
Secretary to what?
To, the auditors,
They do nothing.
yeah, it is a position meant to president, vice president, and somebody that maintains the records of the commissioner's activities. But in actuality, that's the auditor's role, and they do a wonderful job providing that backup and manpower that, sometimes is what results from commissioners' decisions, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that person is not required to keep the minutes or anything like that.
All right. Okay, at this time, I would nominate Brendan Kearns for Secretary of the Commissioners.
Can I take my mask off? I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? No other nominations. We have to have a roll call vote, Mr. Counselor?
No.
All those in favor by aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. This time I would make a motion to nominate Commissioner Schweitzer as Vice President of Vigo County Commissioners.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I would take a vote. All in favor by aye?
Aye.
Aye. And all those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Comments from other businesses, commissioners, or Vigo County representatives. So, we do have a few people in attendance at our reorganizational meeting. Are there any comments? No wishes for a successful year? There you go. It's going to be an interesting year for sure. Mr. Auditor, since we have you here, would you like to give, maybe on the record, any update on CARES money, or are we getting our things processed? Anything on the update on news on virus type of thing?
The CARES Awareness Fund, we got our claim for that in last week. We used all but, I think, about $35,000 or $36,000 of it. And I haven't heard anything back from IFA on that. The big CARES Act fund, the appropriation for that died 31st, so we're gonna have to figure out what's left of it and request an additional from the council for the balance of that to use throughout the year. So I'm not sure at this point what has been unused.
Okay. All right, so
And then any further aid, I guess, will be determined by the Congress sometime this year.
nothing on the horizon that you think is coming up?
The bill that they passed last week, from what I understand, didn't have any state or local aid in it.
And everything in the county is funded at this time?
Is
Well, I mean, any projects that we're moving ahead? Year ending, some of this things gets finalized, but the needs aren't finalized, but we seem to be okay.
Yeah, we're moving along.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes.
There was the one public comment that we received that I was going to read into the record whenever you're ready.
Yeah, you guys want to continue to meet at 9 on Tuesdays for your regular meeting, or that? It's,
All right with that? 9 on Tuesday? Weekly?
yeah, I think we need to get that posted and.
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Will that be your full hours of operation then? Because lots of times you set that you're in from 8:30 or 8 to 4 open, but yet you conduct business at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Wright, that we normally have that. So are you
Yeah, I mean,
setting in hours of operation?
Commissioner's hours of operation are 8 to 4.
Are they going to remain that way? Okay.
I presume so.
And all that means is, after reviewing the code this morning, that the office has to be open. The commissioner does not have to be technically in the the building and office.
That's correct.
But as Commissioner Morris clearly articulated earlier, this is a 24/7 job, and since I've been doing this for but don't put that in there officially, that it's 24/7 hours.
Is there anything else that we should, in the rules that I've read, we've adopted that this group is in session, that we never recess, is that correct?
That's the issue.
But if we do it this way, then we avoid that.
The,
That's the issue.
Right.
You
the
were always,
statutes
yeah.
permit, I think, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, you can receive information, have discussions and such at any time without public notice.
Personnel
To-
matters, executive type sessions.
Not executive sessions, but that's a different, but to formally confirm something, it has to be done in a public forum such as this.
Ordinances.
Ordinances, contracts, whatever,
Paying of the bills.
official documents, approving of
Approving the
claims and.
claims.
That's correct. I mean, it's, the purpose of these meetings is to put everything that
You
is
have
official
discussed.
action that is going to cost taxpayer dollars on the record, so it is transparent, and that's the,
Okay,
with
so,
your status as full-time, it's a little, different from most counties, but that's, a benefit to the people of Vigo County is that they have full-time commission.
so, in your experience then, has a weekly meeting been enough to manage those needs?
I think it has, yeah.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
So we're going to get away from this, the way it has been in the past. We'll just do the calendar every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Is that what you're thinking, hearing?
That's, well, that is,
No?
No, I was thinking you'd be doing it exactly the same way you have been.
Keep it in session.
Well, in session,
It always confused me, so
well,
I think this
I think when you're in
discussion
session,
is
you're
merit
on
to it.
a recording device.
Okay.
This is when you are in session. You are commissioners full-time. So you are doing the day-to-day operations of the county government, overseeing personnel matters in certain departments, managing highway issues, everything that comes within the purview of the commissioners
Running the county.
running the county. And then when you're set to do something official, purchase something, then.
Tuesday
you-
at 9.
That's right. But for purposes of receiving information, it depends on what sort of information you're receiving, whether or not there's, a requirement to post it or have an executive session, or it's too complex to treat it broad. I mean, everything is kind of fact-specific, but, yeah, you are in session, in my opinion, when you are in here on the record in full view of the public.
You good with that?
But you are performing your duties as a, full-time employee, as you said, 24/7.
We're not going to let a contract for 3 miles of road without a meeting, go into a general meeting.
No, you cannot approve, a contract is not approved in an open meeting, has not been approved.
Okay.
You can sign something and then ratify it at an open meeting, but to make it official, it has to become part of the official record of county business, which is what you're doing here each week, is
Okay.
the official record of county business.
Okay. Personal comment. I as one commissioner, trust in the daily operations of this county to either one of the additional two commissioners in their daily decision-making. I have no problem with the competence or communication or handling of matters that are pertain to this county. That's me personally, as one commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay. Comment from other businesses, commissioners' business. Oh, you want to read that into the record?
Sure, President, thank you. This was received yesterday, and I'm just going to read it in verbatim. I submit this as public comment for your meeting on January 5th, 2021. 1 month ago yesterday, Frederick Whitlock died while in the care of Vigo County as an inmate in the Vigo County Jail. And an autopsy revealed that untreated COVID-19 contributed to his death. The next week, a single round of testing revealed 108 positive COVID cases in the jail, a third of all inmates, all of which had gone untracked until Whitlock's death. In the weeks since, your constituents have raised concerns about the county's handling of the situation. As you begin a new year in the wake of the COVID crisis, would you please spend a few minutes of your meeting addressing your role in this situation that has already killed one of your constituents and left hundreds of families in our community scared for their loved ones in the jail? Specifically, I'd appreciate your responses to these questions. What actions have you taken? What actions have you taken and are you taking to understand how COVID went entirely untracked in the jail until one inmate died and over a third of the inmate population tested positive? Next question. What actions have you taken and are you taking to ensure the county is doing everything in its power to care for the victims of this outbreak and minimize future harm through proactive medical care, COVID testing, and other protocols? In response to the email, after discussing the issue with the commissioners, I sent the email to the sheriff for the purposes of this discussion. The sheriff is the constitutional office holder who oversees the operation of the county jail. That is specifically in Indiana code. The commissioners are required to provide a jail for the sheriff. And beyond that, the day-to-day operations of the jail fall to the sheriff, the jail commander, and their respective staffs. The response that I received from Sheriff Plassey was, COVID was not discovered in the jail because inmates were not showing symptoms of reporting those symptoms to jail medical staff. Mr. Whitlock did not report any symptoms to jail medical. Quality Correctional Care can verify this. The Vigo County Sheriff's Department and Quality Correctional Care are following state and local health department guidelines, as we always have and will continue to do so.
Okay. Any comment?
I feel like I answered the question about what role the commissioners play in the jail operation. You know, I think, as the sheriff alluded to, they are following state and local guidance on every activity that goes on in the jail. They have a strict procedure for receiving new inmates to try and prevent potential spread in the facility. They have, done everything in their power to try and keep this invisible virus from penetrating that facility. Obviously, not unlike other communities around us, that effort, didn't prove ultimately successful. It made its way into the facility, and health professionals are reacting to that and doing everything they can to minimize the future risks, and the courts are monitoring, the decision-making on who's in custody and who's not, so.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, I have a question to you.
Yes.
Sheriff retains his own counsel, correct?
By statute, the sheriff can retain his own counsel, and yeah, he has done that. The Indiana Sheriff's Association, also has counsel that he can call on for various issues. But yes, Mr. Craig McKee has been serving as the sheriff's counsel for, 4 or
Okay.
5 years would be
Okay.
probably the low rung of that estimate.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Comment? Okay. Any other business for us to conduct on today?
Oh, gotta do claims.
Claims?
Yeah.
Please.
Let's see, we've got claims for approval for December 26th through January 1st in the amount of $3,820,671.16.
I have thoroughly reviewed the claims, so I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Motion been made, second it. Any more comment? A lot of money, huh?
Yeah, this one's about average.
About average, huh? Okay. You hear that out, public and everyone? That's about average. Just $3 million. All right. All in favor, by aye?
Aye.
Opposed? 4 million, sorry. 3.8.
There we go.
Any other items? Do we need to adopt anything at this point?
Your next meeting will be next Tuesday, and it will be a regular business, without the formality and
Okay. All right. And I have on my list here, my agenda, public comment. I asked for that earlier, so do we have anything? Mr. Assessor? Yes. Uh-huh. Well, there's been some discussion about that already. I think in reference to your board, somebody said something about one member may not be available. Do you know anything about that? Can you check with them and advise us? Thank you. That would be helpful. You seem to be on top of that PETA Bowl board. I talked to a couple of the people individually, and they indicated their desire to serve. But we got 5? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But 1 out of the 5 might not be in a position or something. I don't know. That'd be very helpful to us. We need all the help we can get. Okay. I would say that I had a call this morning that, what is this here? Board of Zoning Appeals meets in the morning at 9 o'clock, and that had a call from Mr. Collette. He said he would like to meet with any or all of us tomorrow at about after that meeting at 9. So, okay. Who can adjourn?
Meeting's over. Yeah, you don't have to adjourn.
Oh, okay. All right, meeting over. Thank you for all being here.
He says around 9:30, Jim. He said meet around 9:30.